Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, is brought to you by StayJay Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. Locking kits now available for all turbo applications. Go to StayJay.com. J-Cloud, it only takes one because one J-Cloud does it all. CIC Power Box, electricity, compressed air, and jump start capability wherever you need it. And by Tribotex, make your engine last longer.
You know, you can test your product in the laboratory, you can test it on the streets, but if you really want to measure your product, go to motorsports. Anything automotive, it's being pushed to the max there. Tribotex, Pasha, how is it being used in racing?
Tribotex transmission really shine in cutting-edge industrial and racing applications. We had unlimited hydroplane team reached out to us. You guys can do something with our gearbox. We use nice oil there, but it doesn't really last as long as we want. They used to travel with 6 gearboxes to every show so they can last through whole season. We instrumented one gearbox, treated with the Tribotex, and then we seen several things. One, the temperature went down, so less temperature, less friction, more power goes to the prop. Second thing, this gearbox outlasted everything else they had. The transmission lasted 3 times longer, and team won 2 championships and break the lake record.
The heat was going into that gearbox, but now you've been able to take that heat and turn it into raw energy. So how much horsepower are you giving them now that they didn't have before?
On every coupling, gears lose some energy, so when we're able to recover it back, it goes back to the prop. So on this particular gearbox, on 3,000 horsepower, we gained about 300 horsepower back to propel the hydroplane.
Unbelievable. And what kind of forces are we talking? You know, physically, 3,000 horsepower, and you're turning that screw.
It is a helicopter turbine coupled to the prop on little tiny boat to fly slightly above the water. We talk about a lot.
Well, if Tribotex can work at forces like that, it can certainly work in your car or your motorcycle. Give them a look. Check out Tribotex.com.
Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
The great outdoors, time for vacation. The Dobsons are taking the old Dauber Cruiser here on vacation next week, and there's a few things we got to check before we hit the road, and the Magic Creeper is the perfect tool to facilitate all of that. Now, one of the things we want to do before we hit the road is check all the fluid levels, and that's where the Creeper really comes in handy because you can use it as a fender cover. Protect that paint job, the Magic Creeper just perfect for that. Also, one of the things you want to do before you hit the road is to check your tire pressures, and it sounds so simple and it sounds kind of silly, but once you're on the ground like that all the time, you're going to want to brake for your knees, and the Magic Creeper is the perfect thing for that, whether you're on grass like this or you're on gravel or pavement. And of course, when you're loading the car, if you've got a lot of heavy gear to put in, you can use the Magic Creeper as a bit of a conveyor belt. Just pack some stuff around, use the heaviest stuff on the Magic Creeper. It'll slide right in and out with no problem. And once you hit the road, the Magic Creeper, that's where it really shines. If you get into an emergency, you've got to change a tire, of course, once again, you're using the Magic Creeper as a knee pad along the side of the road. And if something's wrong underneath the car, suspension problem, some kind of leak you want to check out, well, Magic Creeper, that's what it's there for. You're going to use it to slide right under the vehicle. You're out here in the grass or by the side of the road, there's no room for a real creeper in your car. The Magic Creeper rolls right up. You can keep it in your car, and it's there when you need it. And on the family vacation, hey, you're out tailgating someplace, or you want to sit by the fire, you can use the Magic Creeper just as a blanket, something to protect you from the cold, wet ground. The Magic Creeper seems so simple, but it truly is amazing, has a lot of uses. You can check out the authentic Magic Creeper at MagicCreeper.com.
Now, identifying a tire today is like reading hieroglyphics, man. What does all this mean? P, 255, 45, ZR17. It's just all foreign to us. Well, not anymore. Remember back in the old days, used to be what's called an alphanumeric system? Well, look at this graphic. It's pretty simple back then. You had a FR, the F being the load rating, radial construction, 70 is the aspect ratio, and bam, 14-inch diameter tire. Nothing to that. Well, today, it's called a P-metric system, and with that P-metric system, you could have a different designation for each one of these. Let's take a look at them in order. We'll start over there with a P. The P stands for passenger tire. If you had a T, that would be temporary, LT is light truck, or C is commercial. That's your first one. Then we went to the section width, and that's in millimeters now. So on our tire, it was 255. This one, it's 215. That's actually how wide the tire is. Aspect ratio, ours being a 45. That means that it's actually the height times the width. Think about a 51 would be almost a square tire, about as high as it is tall as it is wide. Next one's back to our R is radial construction, 89 load index, and then you have your speed symbol. The Z means it's a speed rated tire for a different speed. It's important to understand what tire, what's reading, so you can put it on there to make sure it clears and even to be safe when you're driving around.
Well, that is going to do it for this episode of Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat. We are sure glad you came along. We're really glad you came along. We will be back next week with something cool for you here at the same time, same sandbox. In the meantime, check us out on our Facebook page. And if you have something you want to see featured on the show, like this amazing Jeep Gladiator, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. Here we go. Let's do burn a little rubber.